So the leaves have just started to turn color, but the holiday shopping season has already kicked into high gear. Not to stress you out or anything. Amazon, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Best Buy, and other big retailers are launching their holiday mega deals this week to help you knock out your gift buying way before Black Friday. Holiday shopping creeping earlier in the calendar has been happening for years, but COVID and the surge in e-commerce put an end to the idea that you should wait until after Thanksgiving for purchasing gifts. Another culprit of this shopping creep is, of course, Amazon, which has decided to do another Prime Day event for holiday shopping in October that starts today. And that, of course, means that everyone else has to follow in Amazon's footsteps and move their sales earlier in the year. Spreading out holiday purchases may be what consumers want, though, as budgets tighten up from inflation, student loan repayments, depleted savings reserves, and everything else we've talked about on this podcast for weeks.
It's such a vicious cycle. As soon as one retailer, mainly Amazon, moves their Prime Day or their holiday sales period earlier, then the others have to react. So I swear that next year we're going to be doing our Christmas shopping in July because it's just this never-ending cycle of people moving ever earlier. All right, Neal, for our next story, I want to tell the people about the 23andMe data breach that happened last week. More than 7 million customers had their data exposed, with those of Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry specifically targeted. The hackers then turned around and listed the data for sale, asking between $1 and $10 per account from buyers. The hackers reportedly got access to the data by credential stuffing, which is when you get login information from one site or leak, then kind of bulk test them out on other sites to see what you can dig up. Neal, cyber attacks have been a theme in recent months, but anytime there's genetic data involved, it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, the problem here, the reason they seem to be able to get so many accounts information without actually hacking 23andMe, because 23andMe said, look, they didn't hack us. They used this credential stuffing method, is this feature called DNA Relatives, which allows you to share your genetic information to the public, essentially, to find any matches for relatives. So what makes 23andMe useful in some cases also exposes it to other security problems. So
they were telling people also back up, do use two-factor authentication, and then also don't use the same password for all these sites. So Neal, no more morning brew daily 1 2 3 4 out of you.
It did make me think of the fact that I use the same password for everything, and that's how they were compromised. Okay, you might notice your local Walgreens is closed today, and that is because hundreds of pharmacists and pharmacy staff have walked off the job in protest of working conditions. The protest has led to store closures in certain states, but the company said the majority of its 9,000 locations remain open for business. Still, the walkout is a pattern of pharmacy employees saying enough is enough. The Walgreens walkout was inspired by a similar action at CVS in Kansas City, which prompted corporate staff to fly in and pledge to help out workers there. The problem, pharmacy employees say, is that they've been set up to fail. There isn't enough staff on hand to complete the many tasks they're asked to do, from administering COVID and flu vaccines to filing hundreds of prescriptions, all while dealing with impatient and sometimes violent customers. They say they want more support from Walgreens, which acknowledges that staff are overworked.
The most interesting part of this to me is that there's no formal union leader or anyone to kind of coordinate publicly this movement. So they've been doing it on platforms like Reddit, Facebook. They're just organizing it themselves to kind of say, listen, people, we are the front lines of healthcare.
They really are.
We're not getting the support that we need or deserve. All right, Neal, the final story in our weekend wrap-up segment is one I'm especially excited about because the men's world marathon record was broken this weekend in Chicago. Not only was it broken, it was demolished by over 30 seconds by a 23-year-old from Kenya named Kelvin Kiptum in just his third ever marathon. This was an insane run, Neal. He literally said after the race that the world record wasn't even on his mind going into it, but then he realized he was feeling good and almost ended up threatening that mythical 2-hour barrier that has yet to be broken in a certified marathon. Neal, although it's cool to see a world record broken, I am sad because my favorite runner, the GOAT, Eliud Kipchoge, lost the record, and at 38 years old, I don't know if he's getting it back at it.
Really? You don't think so? Well, anyway, the number that stood out to me is to do a marathon in 2 hours and 18 seconds. or 18 minutes.
2 hours and 38 seconds. Yeah.
2 hours, 38 seconds is the fact that this is a 4-minute and 34-second mile.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah.
That is the pace. I can't even fathom that.
It is truly unfathomable. The question that always gets asked whenever these world records are getting broken is how much are the shoes factoring into play? And what was interesting is, remember, 2 weeks ago, the women's world record was broken, and that was broken by a woman wearing these new $500 Adidas shoes that are single-use $500 shoes because the foam is so delicate that as soon as you run one race in them, they say it doesn't perform the same anymore. So I was a little nervous that Adidas was going to take over and that these shoes were truly mythical. But these were run, the Kiptum ran it in the same old Nikes that, again, kind of set off this whole craze. They still have a carbon fiber plate in them, but there's always a shoe debate whenever these records are falling because they're falling literally like faster than ever.
Okay, so when is someone going to break the 2-hour barrier?
I'm literally thinking next year because this is his third marathon. He's only 23 years old. I'm going to say with 100% certainty it's going to be broken at some point.
All right, you heard the man.
You heard the man here because he's 23. Kipchoge's 38, and he's been inching it down, so he's got a lot of years left. Truly amazing. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you want more Morning Brew Daily, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also check out the rest of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
New episodes drop at 7 a.m. Eastern Monday through Friday, and you can email us at morningbrewdaily@morningbrew.com.